How y'all doing? Welcome back to Outside the Box Financials, where we think differently for a better tomorrow. I'm back from my training, and I'm back with another video on how credit cards are an asset. Who knows? We're gonna go through some of these slides and see why I think a credit card is an asset. All right, let's get on to it. So, what is an asset? Do y'all know what an asset is? Is an asset basically all those stuff you see on Instagram or any of these social medias where people have money and they got the bling bling and that's what you want? Luxury cars, luxurious house, luxury vacations. Well, let's see. So an asset is positive cash flow, right? If you got money you can spend basically on assets, then you're doing good. If you don't got money to spend on assets and you owe money, not good. Appreciates, right? So like Uh, basic things that you put in, it grows. You make money more than you had before. Good to go. Reduces expenses, right? Paying less on things, and provides values. Let's dig deeper into this. So for positive cash flow, right? Something like a house, right? Who is it? Robert Kiyosaki said a house is not an asset. Basically, if you're paying for the house and it's not providing any value aside from you just staying there, right? And it's causing you to lose money instead of gain money, then it's not an asset. But a house as an asset, you got a mortgage, you pay rent. The rent is more than the mortgage. For here, the mortgage is $1,500, rent is $1,750. You're netting $250. Okay, so that is an asset. The more of that you got, the more money you make, the more you can get other assets and keep compounding. What else? A car. Typically, we know a car, if you buy it, it loses about 50% when it goes off the lot. So it's a depreciating, I would say depreciating asset, but it's a depreciating, I don't know, liability that you get that typically makes you no money, depending on what it's done for. But here, you got things like Toro and all these other things where you can rent your car out and make some money. So you finance it, your note is about $600. You rent it for $700, you net 100. So these are assets. All right, for appreciation, we got things such as we all know stocks. You purchase 100 shares at $20, it's about $2,000. Rises to $30, which is a net profit of $1,000. Good to go. Reducing expenses. Oh, skipping ahead. So you got trading cards. You purchase for 500, rises 1,000. You net about $500. All right, reducing expenses. You got things like membership. For instance, Costco. You get a membership. If you buy a lot of food, you can go there, get stuff in bulk, get stuff cheaper. Also, the membership card. I think if you buy the business one, you get 1%. I don't know, 1% rewards, which you can also use for the membership. Right? So it kind of evens out depending on how much you buy for groceries and stuff at Costco. All right, you got the TSP and 401k. I know a lot of people, right? Financial proponents, ones that are not within the mainstream financial area, would advise against TSP for 401k. But the thing is, if you utilize this to reduce your tax bill, it's something good. You just got to know how to utilize it and utilize it to reduce your tax bill, not so much on trying to gain wealth and so on. Right? And then it provides value. So we got production. So this is the thing, right? With an asset. So for instance, a car. Let's say you don't even have positive cash flow on it, but if the car takes you to a job or a business meeting or so on, that provides you an increase in capital, then it is very good. Or drive you to produce that business, which becomes successful, or allows you to gain experience. Then it is an asset because again, it's providing production, drive motivation, opportunities. Opportunities is the big one because the more opportunities it opens up, the more you can push over to finding something that is successful. Right? But let's know that everything you purchase becomes a liability at first until you make it an asset. So for instance, you buy a house, it's a liability because it's taking money away from you till you rent it out or appreciates or so on. Right? Same thing with the car, same thing with the stock. Just the stock. If you purchase stock, crypto, or anything, it's a liability until it appreciates, or you collect things like staking and so on, but it breaks after it breaks even. So again, it's a liability until you make it an asset. Right? So what's the issue with the credit card? Right? At first, it's the mindset. So typically when people get the card, if their mindset is not correct, then that credit card is just going to be something you get that opens up more money so you can spend. So unless you train the mindset to think of the credit card as utilizing to purchase assets, it's just going to be that credit card that increases your buying power, you spend it, and now you're stuck in a rut. Right? Now you're working just to pay off the credit card, which I did before. Right? Overspending. So you have $2,000, you get a credit card that has a $2,000 credit limit. Now you got $4,000. Now you spend that $4,000. Now you owe $2,000. So now if you're making $2,000, you're basically, again, working just to pay off that credit card, which you don't want. Right? It's good to want things, and this is what leads into instant gratification, which instant gratification is some things you want right now. Of course, all the stores, all the ads, the TV shows, and so on, freaking push that into you it can trigger an emotion so you can want it now. It's very hard to combat, especially you got social media, you got your phone on you all the time, you got the TV on, you got other people talking, you walk around, you just see ads, billboards, and so on. It's very tough to fight, but you need to fight. Right? Get out of this bad mindset and think about how you can increase your cash flow and think about the future. All right? Enjoy the time you have now, especially if you're young, but also understand that you're going to get older and there's going to be a future that you want to see as opposed to a future that you don't want to see. All right? And then they get you with the minimum payment. Right, you spend that $2,000, you only need to pay back about 1% of the principal, right, with some interest. So it looks like, oh, okay, cool. You can just hold the balance, pay $50 or whatever it is, and good to go. Especially if you're making a decent amount, say you're making $3,000-$4,000 a month, you just gotta pay $50. Hey, not too big of an issue. But again, that interest rate is excessively eating at your long-term growth. Right? And if you have multiple credit cards, right, you could easily be spending $300, $400, $500 on just paying minimum payments per month. Which again happened to me. I have 3, 4, 5 credit cards, and I pay an excessive amount, which is not good, especially if you have a family. And I got a big family, who I love very much. Sorry about that. Got me some coffee. Tastes so good. Right. Moving on. And then, of course, paying interest. That is the number one killer on this, because with you paying 1%, which is typically the principal of the credit cards, which you pay on the principal, is going to take you like 30, 40, 50, however many years to pay up their credit card. And you're just going to keep funneling interest to the credit card issuer, which is typically a credit card company like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and so on. Never get out of it, but you're lining their pockets, you're not lining your pockets. So paying to use money to pay extra for liabilities, that is insane. Again, I did this. It is not good. You're buying, I don't know, stuff at the store, food, and so on with the credit card, but holding in balance. So you're paying that credit card off, but you're paying for credit that you're paying to use credit to purchase something, which is paying more, but you're not paying off the credit card. So it's kind of like, this weird, I don't even know how to explain it. it's so weird that it can't even compute in my head, right? And you're being a good steward of the profession for the credit card company because they want you to hold onto a balance on the cards so they can keep collecting those profits. But you're not going to do that, right? So credit card issuers have no issues with you holding a balance, right? But let's change this around. So what makes a credit card an asset? Let's think. Well, one, we got to change our mindset on it, because if we change our mindset from it being a liability to an asset, we'll utilize the credit card in a different way. All right? It can fund rainy day immediately. So instead of building a rainy day fund, you can use that to invest or purchase an asset, do something productive with it, and then use your credit card right when emergency comes up. There's other ways you can do to make this work out, but just understand that it immediately opens up credit you can use to help you in situations that need to be worked on now, whatever it is that's very important to work on. There'll be in other videos I'll show this, or I think I've created some videos that shows what you can do with the credit card to help you out. Just know that I know there's proponents that say, hey, don't use your credit card, but the thing is, if you don't know how to use your credit card, or you're not disciplined in using it, it can cause an issue. But become disciplined, again, change the mindset, right? You can improve your own financial system with it, right? Basically, you can use the credit card where it's helping you reduce expenses, and almost like it's paying you, because if you don't hold no balance, right, and you use the card for everyday expenses that you always get, and you're getting the rewards, but you're collecting the benefits, right? Especially if you have one of those Sky Miles things, you can get some free flights, right, and other things that come with different types of credit cards. And if you look at some of our other videos and using your financial system, it can help you out a lot. Right? There's also benefits on it, such as extended warranty. The thing is, people are like insurance for when you get rental cars, but a lot of people don't use it for the benefits, and the balance outweighs the benefits. So understand what your credit card offers, what the credit card company offers by holding that credit card. All right. And on collecting interest and reducing expenses. So what I mean by collecting interest, well, I mean by their rewards. So typically it's 1 to 2%. You can collect up to 2%. That's a pretty decent credit card, and it reduces expenses because the rewards can offset that. And also for things like that offer discounts. If you could pay like Geico, I think offers it. If you pay the whole premium within the 6 months or a year, they offer a certain amount of discount on their insurance. All right, so let's go through some examples. You got a credit card, right? You apply for it, you get $5,000. You decide to purchase an iMac for about $2,000. I don't know how much iMacs are, but let's say $2,000. So now you hold a balance of $2,000, right? Interest on that card is about 20%, so you pay about $400 a year, which you take 1% of that balance and you divide 400 by 12. You get a minimum payment of about $53. Again, if you're making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, to you that it seems like nothing. So that's what their credit card companies want. It's basically like those when you get subscriptions and you forget you have the subscription and you've been paying on for 12, 24, 36 months, and then you're like, oh dang, I got that membership. Why the heck? I don't even use this. Let me cancel it. Right? That's what the credit card companies want you at. So it just becomes like you get so used to paying those minimum payments that you don't even think about that card. Right? From there, you get additional purchases. Right? Your balance increases to $5,000, $50,000 because you just keep spending. previously on things. Now your yearly interest is $1,000, so your minimum increases to $134. See, but with credit cards, it becomes a habit, and you keep paying it. This is what happens if you don't change the mindset, and basically, it's a emotional purchase because you just want the newest thing, you want the newest phone, you want the newest da 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 da. So it's easy to overspend, right? Even that minimum 134 becomes irrelevant if you're making a decent amount. But again, you're losing 20% per year to pay off this credit card, right? So this example is basically what I did. So I had purchased an iMac. It was a while back, like 2013 or so on. And this is what I did. Yes, that's a fool of me. But you live, learn, and improve, upgrade, level up, right? So stopped using for about 3 months, and of course it opened up a little bit more, reduced my balance to 4,850. The interest paid was about 250 for those 3 months, and I had some spending money or spending credit on there. So what did I do? Decided I wanted to buy some food or whatever with that 150 because it was open. Because I was spending what I made on my paycheck. Once it went away, I'm like, ooh, there's a little bit of money open or a little bit of credit open on my credit card. Let me just spend it. Right? And then what happened? Rinse and repeat. So I had to get myself out of that loop. Right? And one of the assets I have is my family. It helped jog my mind out of it because I want to provide my family, right, the life they deserve and life I haven't had, and also show them what being a good steward of money, credit, and debt is. All right, now let's take another example. All right, what happens if we add the credit card into our financial system as an asset instead of a liability and just using it to purchase all kinds of crazy things? Okay, so the reason I bought the iMac back in 2013, right, is because at that time I bought it because I liked it, but it was also for my trading. At that time I was fairly new to trading still. I think it was about 2 years in, right? But I wanted it for my trading. Could I have used another computer, maybe like a cheaper Windows computer, right? Because I didn't need nothing fancy. You don't really need anything fancy to trade. But I purchased the iMac also because if I think about it, was something nice and elegant for myself. And I think that jogged my memory, not my memory, my mind, to be like, in order to get something this expensive or this nice, right? I have to keep improving to improve my cash flow, income, and so on. That purchase like this becomes not detrimental to my financial system. Basically spending a little bit here and there for wants isn't going to put me back like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. But the objective for the iMac was to trade, and from that trading, right, make some money, learn more, and so on. So think about it, right? The iMac was an asset. And is it an asset? Yes, because I work on the computer a lot. I trade, right? I'm doing a little bit of the Amazon thing and so on. Well, moving on. I digressed a little bit. So you got your rewards at 2%, which about $40 reduces the purchase of the iMac by $40, which put a balance on my card about $1,960. Well, not about, at $1,960. From there, right, I borrowed from the whole life policy. This is previously, but purchase of the iMac was in 2013, right? I'm using that purchase, but currently with my whole life policies, this is what I would do now, right? Borrow from the whole life policy, $1,960. Pay that credit card off, zero balance. I got a whole life loan at 5.50% interest, right? And from here, I can decide, hey, will I pay or will I not pay? So if I decide to pay, I pay off. Bam. Good to go. But if I decide not to pay, right, what will happen? So simple interest, decide when to pay, right? It'll be, the loan is 1% on the whole life policy is 1% over what's earned. So 4.50% interest gain, right? When I say simple interest, that 5.50% isn't compounded daily. It's compounded yearly, right? And if I pay the interest every year, it will not compound. So it'll stay at the same amount and not keep increasing, right? And then at 4.50, the interest compounds. So the minimum payments that I would be paying to the credit card, if I kept it like if I used the credit card and held the balance, instead of paying to the credit card, pay it to my whole life loan, or I could save up a little bit and start paying the premiums up so I can pay the premiums forward. So that way my premiums are paid up to a certain amount. And right, I could use the premium payments to either double the payments or use it for something else. But that's about $636 a year. The interest payment, or the interest on the loan at 5.50% is $108 a year, and I'll stay at that again. Because if I keep paying that yearly amount, the interest does not compound. But what I gain compounds. Right, then let's say I did additional purchases. I'll get another, right? The rewards would be 2%, 60, so the balance is 4,900. I borrow from the whole life policy. I mean, I wouldn't do additional purchase unless it was more assets. So additional purchase will only be assets, right? And then pay the balance. With food, if I bought wants and stuff like that, I would potentially pay it off depending on how much it is. But that's a whole other video. All right, moving on. So, right, you got, for some other examples, you got paycheck, right? And this is for savings. So paycheck, or same for emergency fund. So you got the paycheck, right, bank. Then you put it into savings. Then you got the emergency fund. This is some of what the Dave Ramsey teaches you and so on, to keep saving for 2000 E fund. But what happens if we are able to have a 2000 open, but also be able to use that 2000 to invest, or at least gain some money? Because in the bank, it's gaining money, but it'll take you over 100 years for that to double. At the end of the year, right, that might be, what, a penny, 2 pennies? And the bank can lend you that same amount of money on your credit with a credit card for 20%. No bueno. All right. Now, if we utilize this correctly, you got the paycheck, bank, credit card, $2,000 credit, $2,000 emergency fund. But let's go about this a different way. Right? You got that $2,000 credit, but also you got the $2,000, right, that we had on the top one, paycheck, bank, savings, and 2000 E fund. So that $2,000 is still in the bank. So if we take the $2,000 credit before just keeping it there for the emergency fund, we put in a whole life policy. We also get rewards on it, right? And then we can gain interest off that whole life policy. So we can gain 4.5% or we can gain 0.01%. Which one's better? Yeah, the one off the whole life policy. And it's in there. When you borrow from it, it's in there as if you haven't touched it. So then we take that $2,000 and pay off that credit card. Now that credit card is at zero, right? We got $2,000 now in the whole life policy rewards, right? Collecting interest. That $2,000 pays off the credit card. We gain some rewards, and now we got $2,000 emergency fund. So all in all, good to go. All right, this is simplistic, There's a lot more that goes into this, but I'm showing you something simplistic, so that way you can see how a credit card is an asset. So here we got that MacBook, right? How the credit card is an asset. So you got discount, which, how do you get a discount? Of course, those rewards. So if you got a credit card that offers 2% cash rewards back, like no matter what you buy, it's always like you get a 2% discount. Couple that with any other additional sales or anything that's going on at wherever store you're purchasing at, just increases the discount you get, right? Then you get purchase security. What is purchase security? So the credit card I got offers up to 90 days if somebody decides to steal this iMac, right? That they'll I could put in a claim in and they'll reimburse up to $1,000, right? Which is awesome. And then extends the warranty. You know how sometimes you go to the store and depending on what you buy, they're like, hey, do you want to buy the extended warranty? Don't got to, because the credit card will extend the warranty. So this is some of the stuff you can utilize when you have the credit card, right? But since it's not a habit, a lot of people would just forget about what the benefits on the card is. Right, so the credit card is a liability because if you're paying interest, right, and it's just sucking money from you, then again, it's a liability. So what does that mean? Don't hold a balance, or there's other ways, right? I think I made a video. If I didn't, I probably will make one in the future about how you can still hold a balance but reduce the interest charge to 0, right? But credit card is an asset if you use it to buy assets, right? Collect rewards, not pay interest, and utilize or know that there's benefits that if needed, you can use it. But that's all I got for now. Thank y'all for joining me at Outside the Box Financials, where we think differently for a better tomorrow. Alright, as I get better and better at this, right, I'll improve on what on my I'll improve on how I deliver these things and so on. But hopefully this is helping you. And if anybody's watching this, that this helps you get out of the financial, if you're in any financial rut, that helps you get out of it. But I will improve, ensure I deliver great value, and just keep improving. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for joining. Talk to y'all later.